Hello, this is not a video about any vaccine reaction stuff because I'm not going to do any more of those till I get my second shot. So I'm about to be fully vaccinated very soon. Both of my parents are fully vaccinated. They've got both their shots. They like last month, so they're good. But I just wanted to talk about, last year when there weren't vaccines yet, or they were working on them and they weren't really out yet, and how there were just so many unknowns, and I actually came up with a plan of action for what I would do if I came down with COVID-19 myself, because, both of my parents are high risk, and my dad requires very close hands-on attention because he's extremely disabled by Parkinson's disease. Duh, I can never pronounce that right. And my mom is just older and a very heavy smoker. So, she's high risk, but they're both vaccinated, so maybe not so deadly high risk now. But I have no idea of how high risk I am or was. But I had a plan for what I would do if I came down with COVID-19. And it's unconscionable to me now that I had to think this way. Like, it's disaster thinking. And I mean disaster as in, like, a national disaster, not a disaster as in, oh my gosh, this is overdoing it. But, my house is my house, and then we kind of have the garage that's attached, but you have to go out into the backyard to go into the back door of the garage, and then there's the main street facing door. So my plan was to camp out in the garage with like a really, really big water container, like those really big ones, those boxy ones in the supermarket, with one of those for water to drink, and with a bucket to use as a toilet. And I would have my mom bring me food and leave it outside the back door on paper plates with plastic cutlery so that nothing would go back into the house after I had breathed on it and had it in my mouth and stuff. So I would just take it and throw it away in the dumpsters out back. And I was basically had a plan to just sit in my garage while I was sick if I got sick with COVID. And like I would open the main door during the day so that the air would circulate, so that it would not just sit there being full of cough droplets and stuff, because the droplets hang around in the air. And then I would close the main door at night so that it was safe, and also to just because it's safer, and also to keep animals out and stuff. But I was fully prepared to basically suffer and probably die completely alone on my cement garage floor, where it's drafty and it can be cold when it's cold and really hot when it's hot out. There's no temperature control in there. And because I would not let anybody in there unless they were like paramedics or something. So like just the fact that I had to think that way, it's terrifying. It's terrifying to imagine that I had to come up with a plan of, okay, how can I minimize the risk so that me being sick and dying isn't going to kill everybody around me? Because that's what I was thinking last year. And there's trauma associated with that. And also, I am aware of how lucky me and my family have been in this, because there are people that lost multiple family members. There are people dealing with the long COVID stuff. There are people that have lost their jobs and their houses and their entire lives, and they're left with nothing. I'm aware of how lucky I am compared to other people. And I don't want people to tell me that I'm trying to minimize what other people are going through, because I am fully aware. What I'm trying to draw attention to is the collective trauma that COVID has put the world through. And I just wonder, how is that going to affect people going forward? I mean, because this is going to be in the history books. We are living in history right now, just like September 11th, 2001 was history. We saw it go down. We're part of it. We didn't just witness this history. We are part of it. And we have to carry it. And we have to teach about it if we're able to. There's so many people that never will because they didn't survive it. And I'm aware of that. I'm very aware of that. But this trauma that we're living through, it's going to affect us probably for the rest of our lives. You know, babies being born today are lucky because they're not experiencing it the way we are. They're not going to remember it. You know, really young kids might remember the masks and stuff, but they're not going to remember how scary it was. Because, you know, when you're a little kid, you know, your parents tell you it's going to be okay, and they make it okay, and they make it go away, kind of. You know, they know how to hide it. Parents know how to hide things from their kids. They're just, when they're little. When they get older, they kind of figure it out. But little kids, you know, they're a bit buffered from it. But older kids and teenagers and adults and older adults, you know, this is trauma. And it's not something we're just going to get over. And we need to remember that. You know, if you see people out there still wearing masks after the mask mandate is gone, and in some places it already is, you know, don't make fun of them. Just accept that there are people that are scared. I'm going to keep wearing my mask, and probably for a long, long time, because there are anti-vaxxers out there too, who just refuse to listen to science, and they are the ones that are going to continue to be a risk, especially to the most vulnerable. So I sure as hell am not going to stop wearing my mask right away. Besides, I have a really cool mask. You already saw it once. You'll see it again, probably, if I'm able to videotape my second shot. But we're living in a collective trauma. And it's affected how we think and how we live. And we need to remember that. Because while what I was afraid of and what I went through was minor compared to other people, it's still trauma. Trauma is trauma. Don't ever forget that. So if people are still scared, please don't laugh at them. Don't mock them. Just be like, I understand and I care that you're scared. What can I do to help? You know, if someone wants you to wear a mask around them, wear a mask around them. Just, if your sensory issues allow it, you know, or if your disabilities and issues or whatever allow you to wear a mask, do it. If someone feels safer, if everyone's wearing a mask, just wear the mask. Help them. There's so many people that need help, and some people it's just a minor thing that can help. Because trauma is trauma. No matter how big or small, it's trauma. And we're living in it.